Good morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, PrincetonTrader.com, here for NTMarkets.com with your Monday morning pre-market webcast. Okay, S&P 500 E-mini futures daily chart. We had the news out of China, rate cut about 5:30 in the morning on Friday Eastern time, and that sent us up as high as 2072 quarter. We backed off at least some of that in the regular session, and we're trading a little bit higher here in the early. We're trading 66 half. What's most interesting is that during the night last night, we made a double bottom down at 61 half. Here's a 5-minute chart of Globex last night. You see the launch point here. You see your typical Globex trade. They popped it off of 61 half, did as high as 65.75, came right back down, retested it into the Europe Open. Europe took it as high as 67 half, and now we're making what appears to be, or trying to be, some higher lows, but you've got 67 half on the upside that continues to hold it in here and here. So you got two things going on at the same time here. It's about 8:15 in the morning. You got a double bottom here, and you've got support 60 to 61. That's supported by the purple line here, which is the daily pivot. On the upside, you've got 67 half. Tested, retested. So as long as we continue to make higher lows, then the advantage is going to be to the bulls, at least for the open today. Here's a little wider view. The bottom line is this: if you're a bull, you want to keep making new highs. You want to progress up to 2076 to 2078, which is what it's going to take to start to engage the upper Bollinger Band on the daily chart. If you're a bear, you want to get started by breaking the 60 to 61 area. You need to be careful that you don't turn 60 to 61 into a floor today. You already have floors at 20 to 21 and 35 to 36 that are already, those are tested and they are floors until they break. Finally, the last thing you want to do if you are a bear is to have a morning dip that gets accelerated down into yesterday or Friday's low, anywhere between 54.75 and 55.75. If that happens, the dip buyers are going to come. That's classic dip buyer stuff, especially if it happens anywhere between, say, 10 to 11 o'clock this morning. If that's what happens, if you get a nice 10 to 12 handle pullback that the dip buyers can just close their eyes and push the button on, then that sets up, for me, a move back to the highs and a move back to the upper band. On the really big picture, you have to ask yourself, what is a reasonable expectation for any kind of a meaningful pullback? A meaningful pullback is not the bears having a good hour. The meaningful pullback is the bears actually putting 1 to 2 sessions together and moving the market lower. What's the definition of that? Well, I think that's turned into a couple of things potentially. Most likely, it's a test of the 9-day simple moving average again, which at the moment is a 2047. You could see that move a little higher and start to coincide with that 54-55 area that I just talked about, into tomorrow as it sheds these lower prices. The other thing it could do, you've got the middle band here at 2026. That could migrate up into the 35 area. You could get a pullback that tests middle band. I fully expect a middle band test to hold in this environment. You've got an advantage to the bulls with respect to the holiday week this week, seasonally in general, and the fact that absent news that's really going to push the market lower and keep it lower, this is pretty much the environment that we're locked into, which is higher lows and higher highs. A move to the middle band that holds then absolutely gives fuel for a move to the upper band, and a move to the upper band at this point, or at that point rather, would be susceptible to potentially a band ride. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen in the next 2 days. I'm looking a little bit farther down the road here. What I'm seeing is a Bollinger Bandwidth that was 12 that's now under 5 and continuing to drop. If the bands continue to tighten and we pull back to the middle band, which is only going to make them tighten more, and we bounce off the middle band and head back to highs, then the bandwidth is going to be in a position where it can ride. And if we do get some kind of a holiday, Santa, whatever you want to call it, whatever they call it on TV, I never watch that stuff, rally, that would be the that would be how that would come to pass, most likely, at least with my on my stuff. Okay, everybody have a fantastic day. Follow us on Twitter at Princeton Trader. Come check out the website. Come check out the chat room. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another webcast. Trade them well, everybody.